This is your Solent journalism update at 3, and I'm Shival Kapuri with your headlines today. Scientists have today warned that the UK's Kent variant could become the world's dominant strain of coronavirus. Cases of this variant have been found in more than 50 countries. The government has urged people yet to take up their offer of a COVID jab to come forward this week. Meanwhile, a Southampton school has been chosen as a hypercenter to train 200 vaccine volunteers through the St. John Ambulance Training Scheme. Our reporter, Holly Busby, spoke to vaccine volunteer Peter Reevy.
We spoke to Peter Reevy, who assists in the training of volunteers to administer the COVID vaccine.
I've got several roles on the vaccination programme. So first off, I'm a vaccination volunteering lead. So this is a line management kind of position to look after all of the brand new St John people we've got in the organisation. So that's making sure that they're kind of getting the best out of their time with the organisation, getting all their questions answered and making them feel really comfortable in their role. And I'm doing that for 2 units, so each unit having about 100 people in, and I'm doing that for 2 units in East London. And then the other role is looking after or assisting in the training, so being able to support this from an admin point of view. So that's kind of welcoming new volunteers when they come to the training centres. We've got lots of those across the country, so that's able to be replicated across the country. And then being able to kind of support that in an admin role to kind of get them processed and get their DBSs done and get their T-shirts to them and make sure that they kind of have a really useful time training, because when we're training the volunteer vaccinators, but then also the other 2 roles as well, so vaccination care volunteers and volunteer patient advocates, and trying to make sure that they're all kind of feel like they're all kind of essential to the programme, because none of it would work if we didn't have each of the roles available.
So how does it make you feel to be involved in the training within this hypercentre to mass vaccinate people?
From my perspective, it's been amazing to kind of see all these new people so enthusiastic to get involved in the programme and to join St John Ambulance for the first time, because for a lot of the volunteers turning up at the training, only a very few of them have been part of the organisation before, so we're recruiting about 30,000 brand new people, and I've been also interviewing some of those people, so I've done about 90 interviews now, and they're people brand new to the organisation, so it's been really great to kind of see their enthusiasm and their passion. They've all come from kind of different backgrounds, very different backgrounds, but they've all kind of got the underpinning care and passion for looking after people in their communities and supporting their communities. So I think that's a really lovely thing to have been able to see.
Moving on, from Monday, new quarantine measures will be taking place for passengers travelling back to the UK. Those who fail to comply will have to pay a fine of £10,000 or could face up to 10 years in prison. The Southampton Abb Marathon has been postponed again this year. The event, which usually takes place in April, has been suspended until September to ensure competitors' safety. We spoke to Chris Rees, one of the event organisers.
We wanted to make sure we still had some hope for the runners. We lost the event last year with COVID restrictions and it couldn't take place. There's been an awful lot of lessons learned since last year. And there's numerous countries where people have come back after COVID. They've now actually got events operating again nice and safe. And there's lots of evidence of how you can run events COVID secure. For us, it was really important to have some sort of hope and something to look forward to for 2021. But we're just aware that obviously things may still change throughout the summer depending on COVID numbers. We're feeling positive and we're ready to go for September.
The 2030 Green Plan promises Southampton will be in the top 10% of UK cities for electric vehicle charging units. We spoke to Cameron Richards about why he thinks the electric chargers should be in street lamps at some point.
But there are talks from the government and from local councils that on-street charging points, once they become the norm and they start to develop in time, that street lamps will be used as the first main call for electric car charging points on street to be installed. So it's just purely for easier access and more practical solutions, because as I said before, that the problem we've got in the future with on-street charging points and in Southampton, but also in general, is the fact that we've got a lot of hurdles to climb, shall we say.
Finally, sailors Sam Davies and Isabel Josh were forced to abandon the Vendée Global race a month ago due to technical issues with their boat. But the two are now completing the adventure side by side. We spoke to Paul Eason, a yacht master instructor, about why he thinks their performance is impressive.
I'm impressed when I see someone sailing single-handed in the Solent. So, as you can imagine, I'm completely in awe of anybody who is going to take part in a race like the Vendée Globe. As for the two who are out of the race but have decided to continue to the end, I think that shows tremendous spirit, and I wish them well. What really impresses me, though, about the people in the race are examples like, I think it was Pip Hare, who had to change a rudder in the middle of an ocean on her own. And there's even a guy, Damien Seguin, I think his name is, who's taking part in the race, who only has the use of one hand. These people are just so impressive.
Well, that's all from us for now. You can find all our stories and more at solentjournalism.co.uk. We'll be back next week. Stay safe.